I was probably in 11th grade when I fully started to understand that a career is a big deal. When I saw the excitement that my dad got, he'd come home and he'd be showing me pictures. Look at this one.
Cool.
So I would start asking him questions, and the more and more questions I got to ask him, I was like, man, this is probably something that I want to do. I feel like with anything, this is one of the things you just go for it, try it out. Like we had talked about, the worst thing that can happen is, okay, this isn't for me.
Cool. All right, we're rolling.
We're rolling.
First of all, good job.
Thank you, sir.
You killed it. Good job at training. Last Jocko.
Last Jocko.
Last Jocko.
Till I buy some when I
Cheers.
get home.
All right, so first episode of ConfiDENTS with a great student, Ethan Miller. This is going to be no pressure, just a conversation encouraging current dent guys and gals, but also future ones that are considering training. That's kind of the heart behind this this podcast. I do have some questions. Before I get into the questions, I'm going to make it a kind of a part of every episode at the very beginning and this struck me on the way up to the shop today.
Had a bright light
to touch
moment.
on the 5 dubs is what I'm going to call it. So
Five
the who,
dubs.
what, when, where, and why of what this is. The what's already been answered because it's dent repair that we're getting into.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the who. I have the who in front of me.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the who, what, when, where, and why. So yesterday at lunch we talked a little bit about this, but when, where were you, and why dent repair?
So I would say when I saw the excitement that my dad got from tackling a dent, big or small, because in the beginning, you tackle a small dent, that's still an accomplishment. So I was probably in 11th grade when I fully started to understand that a career is a big deal. Like you that's how you support a family. And so I think that just seeing the progress that he was making kind of gave me a tickle for it. So I would start asking him questions, and the more and more questions I got to ask him, I was like, man, this is probably something that I want to do. So he'd ask me, he'd be like, is this something you want to attempt one day? And I was like, yeah. So then we started to get serious about it. I'd say probably my junior year of high school.
And you saw it on his face.
Oh,
the
yeah.
accomplishment of a dent.
He'd come home and he'd be showing me pictures. Look at this one.
Cool.
So
That's
yeah,
cool.
it was awesome to see his experience.
So now in training, that you've had that a little taste of that experience of seeing something before and after.
Yeah.
You're starting to grow kind of the appreciation for what that excitement was behind his eyes,
Absolutely.
what you saw on his face.
Yeah. I think the motivation that comes from the why I want to do this is, it's going to sound funny, but I want to be better than my dad at this.
Okay, that's good. I'm sure he'd want that for you.
He does. He tells me that all the time.
Yeah.
But I think to see how far he's come and to know that if I give this my all, I can hopefully be better than him one day, and it's something that we'll always have in common.
That's good.
I think that's another big reason of why
That's
I
good.
want to do this. And it looks like something that some people, it's your job, but it's also something you can go and have fun with every day.
Yeah.
It's not something that you can, hate doing, or you get home and you're just like, man, I got to go do it again tomorrow. And I get it, even for training these past 2 weeks, I wake up in the morning excited to get to tackle something different.
Awesome.
So,
Awesome.
yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, so we'll get into the questions. So that
Yeah.
who, what, when, where, and why. That's awesome. Okay. First question. Okay. Looking back to when you first started training,
Yep.
how did your confidence level change from day one to today?
Day one, I feel like with anything new you do, there's going to be that little nerve of unknown, the unknown you're about to walk into, and just what it's going to entail. And I think my confidence has greatly boosted just from even learning, like we do on day one, what a dent is, that even helps your confidence grow, because now you're understanding what you're actually doing and getting a better understanding of it. Whereas before I came here, I knew what a dent was by looking at one. Okay, yeah, there's a part of that metal that is not where it's supposed to be, and our job is to put it back. But after the 2 weeks of training, you realize that there's a process that you have to go through of actually how to put that back the right way for it to look like it was never there. So I think my confidence has greatly grown just in 2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. Now I get to see that on y'all's faces.
Yeah.
So that's cool for me.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
So maybe one day I'll talk about the who, what, when, where, why of training on my end, but that is part of, why I do what I do, or motivates me to keep going forward for the future. I love seeing that face on you guys. Yeah. Seeing that moment
It's a good
of
feeling too.
Oh, I can do this.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm seeing it happen. Yeah, it's super cool. I love that. Okay. What was the most unexpected thing you learned in training?
The most unexpected. Let me think here. I think the most unexpected thing that I learned was probably the atoms part of the metal structure. Because before, just like you had said, you thought about it, it's just a panel of metal, but to realize and to get a firm grasp on how it's actually made up, that was a big eye-opener for me on how it actually matters how you bring that dent up and bring it back to its original structure.
The science of it.
Yeah,
it helps. Yeah, you got to know. Yeah, so that why are we even doing what we're doing?
Yeah.
And then how we're going to do it. When you connect the two of how and why, having a good understanding of the science behind it, helps formulate that gameplay. Otherwise, you're just randomly
just back there pushing.
It hopes for something to go right. All right. Was there a specific moment during training when you felt things clicked?
I would say when we did that dent on the body line of that hood, and I could actually see right where my tip was pushing in those little lows, and how relieving the crown, watching it kind of shimmer of shadow, I guess you could call it. And just that was really the first day for me where it clicked, where okay, I could just witness that metal move to the right just by relieving this pressure of where it went on impact. So I think that day is really when it kind of gears started turning, and I was like, okay, this is something that I can do.
Like,
so yeah.
So that is my hope during this. So on day 2 we talk about light, and I say if you can't see a dent, you can't fix a dent.
Absolutely.
And it's cute, and it's a bumper sticker saying, but really the point of that is at some point, without your light, you can't see what you're fixing. But when it starts to click and you're really seeing what you're seeing, man, it builds confidence, and it makes you effective. So I love those moments. So that's cool that's a click moment. That's what it should be, a clicked moment is, I'm seeing, you almost kind of like Neo in the Matrix, all of a sudden like, I'm seeing the metal for what it is. That's awesome, man. If you were to give advice to someone thinking about joining the training, but they're still on the fence, what would you tell them?
I would tell them, with anything, there's always going to be in the back of your mind, I don't know if this is something I can do. Or, but if I do it, am I going to be any good at it? I feel like with anything, this is one of the things you just go for it, try it out. Like we had talked about, the worst thing that can happen is, okay, this isn't for me. But 9 times out of 10, with the right trainer and the right mindset going into it, this is something I feel a lot of people could really figure out and do it the right way. So.
I am yet to have a student where I say, this isn't for you. I think, right passion, right motivation, right guidance, if I can do it, really, especially if I can do it, anybody can do it. But really, yeah, you're right. It's
a mindset
If you're
thing.
on the fence for it, it is. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
So I'll during this not try to go too far in on my story, but that is a part of it. So my first chapter was filled with a lot of gatekeeping, told that I'm inexperienced and won't be able to understand it, and the mindset is a big part of it. Once you do,
it really is.
Just make the choice, go for it. You find that, hey, this is actually, I can do this.
Because even for my training, I think it could have went both ways for me. If I would have came in here with a mindset of, well, I don't know if I can really learn this, I think I would have had a different outcome of these past 2 weeks. But I came in here with an open mind, ready to learn, and I think if people can really grasp that and do that, then they'd be just fine.
So that makes my job as a trainer easy.
Yeah.
You made my job easy. So I have some students where I tell them at the very beginning, I say it to every student, I say, hey, trust the process, because it may not be designed like a typical training school. Yes, the days are not as long and are not going to wear you out. So some of the setup is a little bit different than some schools, but I just say, hey, like, okay, but because of that, trust the process. I do ask that from every student, and then some of them, everybody has been open-minded, and that helps me big time.
It helps the trainee as well, I think, if they have
a good
mind.
That's good.
Good mindset coming in here.
That's good. So I appreciate you encouraging them to do that, because some of the ones that don't have an open mind, I do kind of have to talk about that hurdle every once in a while. Just say, hey, because it going back to the mentality of it, yes, that will hold you back.
It will.
It will hold you back.
It's like defeating yourself before you even start. So
yeah, you're right. Good answer. All right. If you could compare learning PDR to anything else in life, what would it be and why?
I think the difference with learning PDR is you have to keep pushing forward, whereas learning something else, you can find out little ways around, little shortcuts. I think with PDR, when you're learning, getting the basics down is crucial to being able to fix a good, clean dent.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. So you've heard me say multiple times, PDR is a creative process,
it's an art.
Right? It's an art. It's your art. Not every tool is going to be used the same way by the same tech, even though some of them have very specific design on what they do. I use tools how they're not supposed to be used all the time. You can get creative, but the one thing you can't argue with is that foundation.
Yeah,
you have to
it's
have
very important.
That there are some non-negotiables.
Yeah,
100%. The basics. Yeah, you have to have those, and then after that, you can run with it and get creative.
Yep.
But you're right. Yeah, there are shortcuts in things in life, but this is something you have to have a good foundation, basic knowledge.
Yep.
Because no matter how cute or creative you are, that metal is what it is, and you have to have an basic understanding of it, right?
Yep.
And approach. Now, I guess, side note, to see some of that shortcutting in our industry is a motivator of why I wanted to do the school.
Yeah.
So guys that are shortcutting, yes, two big problems there: hurting our relationship with the community, with our customers, because they get a bad experience, bad taste in their mouth. But also, more importantly, which people probably will constantly be surprised about, is even the tech that comes in and doesn't do well or cuts corners or has a bad attitude, I still really hurt for them and want them to do well.
Exactly.
So cutting the corners and stuff is just taken away from you being able to enjoy not just this, but also the rewards and the fruits of it.
You're right.
So the cutting corners is I mean, it's frustrating to see guys in our industry do it. So that's why I try to make this as accessible and easy as possible.
Yeah.
Because the basics are key.
Yep.
That's killer.
Training is a very important first step with this process, I feel.
How do you see this training impacting your future, whether as a career move or a new skill?
So I feel like with this training, it really helped me open my eyes to how important it is to lay foundation before you try and just shoot straight for the stars. Because with this, like we just talked about, if, say, a guy doesn't get training and he attempts to go out there on his own, that's a hard thing to do. That'd be a scary, yeah, exactly. That'd be a scary step to try and take. But I feel like to lay the foundation of not only overcoming the challenge of learning this, but to do it to where now I feel confident going back home, say, hey, I'm a dent guy. I think that can help me to take the first step in other things I want to learn as well, as far as going to, whether it's watching a YouTube video to learn more, reading forums, or even go and find somebody that does it and ask them questions. I think this helped me understand how important it is to just get help with it in the beginning to set yourself up for the future.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So then, to bring those questions full circle, you having good support, not just in the business side, but on the family side,
Yep.
getting to see your dad experience that initial excitement, success, he's accomplishing, he's tackling these dents,
Yeah.
talking about the importance of career, them knowing that sending you here for the foundation of a new career, you seeing the benefit of that career, being young, not a wife and children yet, getting to build a solid something for the future. As you experience that, you see that applies to every facet of your life. So that's cool. Your skill developing in the form of dent repair right now, but it is a bigger picture of, that's
very important.
That's awesome. It applies to all kinds
Life,
of stuff, not just your career, but in life, everything. That's awesome, brother.
I agree.
Okay, so let's toast our Jocko, and we're going to get to our off-topic questions.
Awesome.
Slightly off topic.
Yeah.
Okay. So, we'll do this one first because it's similar to the last question.
Okay.
It's slightly off topic, but comparing learning PDR to, if you could compare learning PDR to something else in life, what would it be and why?
That's a good question.
Huh?
Comparing learning PDR to learning something else in life. I would say it goes back to, with the challenge that learning PDR can be, I think with learning anything, the mindset, again, with the mindset you have before even taking the first half a step towards that can set you up for either failure or a bright future. So I think, because this was such a...
No, I think you're on the right path with
Yeah.
the mindset.
Yeah.
So the reason I named the podcast ConfiDENTS is I want somebody watching on the other side of this lens to be able to feed off of, and you're on the right track with the mindset. Yes, we're here for training. Yes, I'm asking you questions about training. But that is a huge takeaway, the mindset, stepping into anything that they're doing. No, I think you're going with your gut. I think that's the right.
Because even, relating it to baseball or anything, I still remember my first outing in college. I let the nerves get the best of me, started to overtake my mind. Well, maybe I'm not good enough to do this. When in reality, the day before I practiced, I was confident. I knew I was good enough to do that. But I didn't have the right mindset going into that first appearance in a college game, and it didn't go well. So I think, circling back with anything, say I go into that first outing, I can do this. I'm going to be great today. It's going to be a great day. That can even motivate you just that much.
More. Yeah.
To go out there and do even bigger and better things than you thought you could do.
And it might be the little bit that you needed.
Yeah, a little push
to set up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's killer. I couldn't have asked for a better response to that. The mindset is huge. That's the whole heart behind this podcast.
Yeah.
Confidence, right? That mindset gets you there. That's awesome. Okay, still talking about dents, but slightly off topic. Was there a specific dent that stood out in your mind during training that maybe challenged you, or was even your favorite dent?
I think test day.
Yeah. Okay.
Which really surprised me. That dent in the open on the hood.
Yeah.
When I first looked at that, I was like, I got it. I can do that one. And then I just started it a little bit the wrong way, and it became a challenge very quickly. And that was probably my favorite because it made me realize that, okay, now I want to fix that one perfect so bad that any dent I go into, I know what I have to do. I know I have to have the right process. And I think it just helped me to realize that setting yourself up is crucial. And that one probably helped me. I probably learned the most from that dent.
From that one?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Now I think your open-mindedness and confidence did help you leap into a dent like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then even getting to see the full process, it's just another nail in the coffin on the confidence factor. Like, let's keep driving this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that was a good dent.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Yeah,
that was probably my favorite one.
But you know what? To your credit, where you're at in your training and where you are even just in that test, you know, you're going to be great. I'm totally confident in.
Thank you.
You're going to be a great tech. And you have so much support going back home.
Yeah, that's definitely a
so I almost,
big help.
I'm really looking forward to checking in 5 and 10 years from now and kind of seeing, I really think you're going to be one of the industry leaders.
That would be cool.
Yeah, man. I think you're going to be awesome. What's your favorite car?
My favorite car? It's got to be an 80 Camaro.
80 Camaro?
Yep.
Okay.
It's got to be.
Huh.
I want one so bad.
Huh. What motivated that?
My dad.
Yeah?
Yep.
Okay.
I remember being younger. He had one. It was blue. It was loud. Had a big cam in it. And now that I've grown up to appreciate classic cars, I will have one day.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Okay. So we got a goal now, even too. Okay. So you got a carrot in front of you.
Yep.
That's cool. That helps with the confidence.
Yep.
Right? Or motivation. Would you have done this again?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. To me, this was more than just dent training, and I kind of realized that after probably day 3, because you not only are taking these trainees in and showing them the ropes and the basics and laying the foundation of dents, but I feel like even in the short 2 weeks that I was here, you also gave me a boost in my mindset to just go out and be great every day, like you say. And to have, I'm 17 hours from home, but to have you treat me like family and to just keep that in my ear that if I needed anything or if I needed help while I was here, that you're right there.
Sweet.
That I feel like that and just the chats that we got to have while laying the foundation for dents on mindset and on confidence and just everything that we talked about, it was bigger than dents.
Awesome.
For sure.
Bigger than dents.
Yeah.
That might be a t-shirt right there.
There you go.
Life is bigger than dents.
It's bigger than
or
dents.
This is bigger than dents.
Yeah.
Something. There's something there. That's yours. Run with it. One last toast. I think you did a great job.
Thank you.
You killed it. You made my job easy. You're
Had
a
a
great
great teacher.
student. Awesome.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Yeah, man, what an enjoyable experience.
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing your future. So I think
Absolutely.
that's actually a great place to wrap it up.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to shake your hand And wish you the best, and I'll be praying for you, brother.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
It was always me versus me.